everyone, welcome to Pearl's Kitchen. Hi everyone, before we go on to what's cooking, as we all know, we are going through some terrible times in this world today. So we all need a little bit of encouragement, be it in the form of prayer, blessings or thoughts of the day. So today I shall ask God to give us all His grace. Amen. Today we're going to make pepper water version 2 and we're going to make it with dry fry. Remember a few months ago I made pepper water and that was with lentils, and this pepper water is with tamarind and tomato, and the last one we made it with chili fry. This one goes with dry fry. They're both Anglo Indian dishes, and I'm going to show you the ingredients for the pepper water first. In the pot I've got just 1 tablespoon of oil, and then here I've got 2 fresh tomatoes, 2 fresh large tomatoes that I've put it in the mixie and made it into pulp. I've got 1 chopped onion, and I've got 3 large cloves of garlic, chopped, finely chopped, and I've got 1 inch of ginger. We'll need some salt, and for the masalas I've got 1 teaspoon of Dhaniya powder, that's coriander powder, 1 teaspoon of Jeera powder, that's cumin powder, and I've got half a teaspoon of chili powder, that's the chili, half a teaspoon of chili powder, and half a teaspoon of Kashmiri mirch, that's to give it a nice red color, and I've got 1 teaspoon of black pepper. And in here I've got, to temper it later, I've got 2 tablespoons of oil, and in here I've got 1 teaspoon of rye, that's mustard, 1 teaspoon of Kalongee, that's black onion seed, and here I've got 1 broken small red chili, and I've got 2 stalks of fresh curry leaves, and in here I've got 5 cups of tamarind water. Now how I made the tamarind water is I've got this, over here we get the tamarind like in a block, so I used 1/4 of the tamarind and I put 6 cups of water in a pot with the 1/4 block of tamarind, and I let it come to a boil, and after it started boiling I put it on simmer for 15 minutes, and then when it cooled down, with my hand I massaged the pulp so that all the seeds came out, and then I used the sieve to mash it through, and then we got 5 cups of pepper water while doing that. So I made that early to make the video a bit shorter. So that's tamarind water, 5 cups. So now first thing what we do is we put the gas on, and like I said, you need very little oil, so I've only got 1 tablespoon of oil in there. So as soon as that gets hot, okay, so when the oil gets hot we're going to put the onion in there. Now we don't need this frying too much because this is all going to go through the sieve later. I'll show you. So just give it a little mix and then add the ginger and garlic as well in there. Okay, because it's got very little oil, so we can't expect it to fry because there's no oil to fry it in. We just like saute it, sweat it a bit. So let it stay in there for around 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, see, it's had its 2 to 3 minutes. So now what we do is add this tomato pulp. And give that a stir. And then what we do is add all this dry stuff in here. And give that a stir. And now let this fry for at least 3 minutes. Here you go, it's had its 3 minutes of frying, just to take out some rawness of it, because now it has to boil. So now what we do is add salt to taste, say 1 teaspoon of salt, and now we do is add all this tamarind water. give that a stir. Like I said, there's two versions of this pepper water. One's the watery one and one, the lentil one's a little bit thicker, but they're both just as tasty. So now what we do is let this come to a boil. What I'm going to do is put it in the back, on the back burner. Now once this comes to a boil, what we do is just put it on, as soon as it boils, put it on simmer, put the gas right down and put the lid on after it's started boiling. I mean, when you put it on simmer, and put the lid right down and then let it boil for 20 to 25 minutes. You can see now the pepper water's come to a boil. So now I'm going to put the gas right down and let it simmer. Let all the spices in there, and the ginger, garlic and onion all cook together, like I said, for at least 20 to 25 minutes. So while that's simmering away, I'll show you the rest of the ingredients for the dry fry. So in the pot I've got 1 ladle spoon of oil, and for the dry fry we'll need, you can make this with beef or lamb. I'm making it with beef, so I've got half a kilo of beef cut into cubes. I've got 1 large onion chopped, and I've got 1 fresh tomato that I made into pulp in the grinder, and I've got 2 tablespoons of ginger garlic paste. We'll need salt, and in here I've got 1 tablespoon of dhaniya powder, that's coriander powder. I've got 1.5 teaspoon of chili powder. You could put 1 if you don't want it too hot. And I've got 1 teaspoon of jeera powder. And I've got 2 large potatoes peeled and cut into cubes. So the first thing what we need is, when the oil is getting hot, it's already hot, you put the onions in here. So while the pepper water is cooking, we're going to make the dry fry. So now keep frying this onions till it gets nice and golden brown. You can see the onions are nice and golden brown. Now what we need to do is add all the beef. And give it a stir. Now let the beef fry now in the onion for 5 minutes. See, the meat has had its 5 minutes of frying. It's frying in its own juices and it's all sealed up now. That's how it should look like. Frying away with the onions. So now what we do is add the ginger and garlic paste, the 2 tablespoons. You can put a drop of water in it so you don't, half of it doesn't get stuck in the. And now you fry the ginger garlic for at least 2 minutes. Okay, the ginger garlic has had its 2 minutes of frying. Smells really nice. Now what you need to do is put the tomato and put the chili and the cumin and the coriander, and then put salt to taste, a teaspoon. And now you need to fry all this masala in the meat on a medium heat so it doesn't get burnt underneath for at least 5 minutes. Okay, the masala and the meat has been frying for the last 5 minutes, and now what we need to do is we need to put the water in now. So I'm going to put a glass full of water, like that's maybe 2 cups. I've got a large steel glass of water. So now we need to put this water because we need the beef to cook now. So if you're making it in the pressure cooker, then it'll need only 10 minutes, but because I'm making it in the pot, it'll need at least 20 minutes. So once the water starts boiling, you put it on a medium flame and let it cook till the meat is tender. Okay, my beef is bubbling away. So that's cooking all right, and the pepper water has had its 25 minutes. So we're going to put the gas off. We're going to bring it here. And now what we're going to do is we have to put all this through the sieve. Okay, every single goodness from there, the ginger, garlic and the tomatoes, all has to be put through this. and then keep stirring it, and then keep adding, because all this, the onion that's turned nice and mushy, that will give nice flavor. And so once it's all in there, what we do is, we keep doing this till all the water comes out, but we don't want to waste anything. So what we'll do is we'll use the pepper water that's collecting in the saucepan. Once we've done this, just keep with the spoon doing this till it's all the water. You can see now now we're mushing up all the ginger garlic to get all the goodness out of it. And then what we do is use the water from there to carry on doing it till every bit of goodness has come into the water. It'll take a while, so carry on doing it. It's not done yet. Keep adding water. Keep doing it for some more time. Okay, I've just realized that this sieve's got very, very fine hole in it, so the pulp is not coming out as it should be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it all into this. Okay, that's a better strainer. And then put all this pepper water. Smells lovely, actually. Smells like pepper water. Yeah, that's working better. Now, same method, keep doing it till you get all the goodness out of it. You can see now, every goodness has come out now, and the bigger sieve helped because I had more room to work with. So now you do is just remove all that. And that's your pepper water. Now you put that on the gas and let that heat up. So while that's heating up, like I said, is the 2 tablespoons of oil that we had in the separate. Now we're going to temper that. So what we're going to do is, the oil's nice and hot, so what you do is you put the mustard seed and the kalonji first in the oil, and then wait for a few seconds, and then you add the chili and the curry leaves. And now let that cook for a few seconds. See lovely smell from the curry leaves, and you can see the pepper water starting to come to a boil. So what we do is just take all this, and you can put the gas off there as well. So put it all in there. There you go, that's your Anglo Indian pepper water. Now you put the lid on it and let it rest. And while we wait for the meat to get tender, it should be nearly getting another 5 minutes, and we'll see the meat. My meat's tender now. It took more than 25 minutes, depends on what cut the butcher gives you. And I had to add another cup of water as well because the water was drying out. So you just have to carry on cooking the meat till it's tender. So now it's tender. Now we need to do is add the potatoes. So these chopped potatoes that we had, you add that in there and then give it a stir. And now that's how it should look like. And now let the potatoes cook in this gravy, because it's called dry fry, so we don't need much gravy. And now you need to put the lid back and put it on a medium until the potatoes are tender and the gravy gets all mixed up with the potatoes. Okay, now my potatoes are nice and tender. I just checked. So what you do is put the gas off, and that's how it should look like, with a thick gravy. And when it cools down, the potato will soak up even more of the gravy. So now what we do is, this always goes well with boiled rice. So now we're going to serve. Put some boiled rice on the plate. And some potato. And then you take the pepper water. That looks lovely and smells lovely. And there's your Anglo Indian pepper water and beef dry fry. So I hope you all enjoy it. Please go and try it, and don't forget to leave your comments, and don't forget to share my link with your friends and family. And I shall see you next week with some more delicious cooking.